Today's episode, you guys, is brought to you by Perfect Storm Real Estate Specific Software. It's the website I use in my business. I'm actually a partial owner within the company that's been able to give my input to help create a piece of software that is uber effective at lead generation in our real estate businesses. That website, www.perfectstormnow.com. Go check that out. It's amazing, epic front-end lead generation site that's extremely affordable for real estate agents out there. Also, today's episode is brought to you by our 90-day mastery bootcamp. If you're in the real estate industry, if you're wanting to take your business to the next level, this is a gnarly, crazy experience. We go through for 90 days straight. There's there is 13 total sessions that we go through. Each weekly session is about 2 to 3 hours long every single week. Plus, you have daily access to me going through the experience through the group. So to check out more about that program, we roll those out about every 90 days. We stagger them once in a while, but we do about 3 or 4 of those every single year. So if you want to spend the next 90 days with me, about 40 hours of just crazy epic content helping your business take it to the next level, go to www.90daymastery.com. That's our sales page. You can see testimonials, learn more about the product, and register and sign up right there. If you are signing up, make sure to use the promo code LiveMastery, all caps, all together, all one word, LiveMastery. It saves you $500. It makes that whole entire 90-day coaching experience only $997 for you guys. So, all right, let's jump on in. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD interview, where every single week we interview top entrepreneurs, top realtors, and just straight up top badasses that are out there dominating their space, doing big things in this world. So today I've got an awesome guest on, really honored and stoked to have this guy, and he's a top agent, top brokerage, not just in his area, number 2 in his area, but also ranked number 107th nationally there's like 1.2 million realtors. So this dude's doing some big things. So really stoked and honored to have Samer Kuraishi on the show. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much. And just for the listeners, to correct that, we're the number 1 busiest company in 2014 on Wall Street Journal in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. Number 44th in volume in the country. We went up big time after a year, and 70th in volume. And we've already surpassed our numbers for last year by 10 million already. So we're not a fluke.
Yep. No, I love it, man. I love it. So before we get into what you guys are doing today, because I know you're covering a lot of ground. You guys are doing some big things, massive growth. But I'd like to kind of rewind the clocks. How did this journey begin, dude? How did you become an entrepreneur? Take us back, high school, college, whatever, through your journey that led you to what you're doing today.
Yeah, I'm 34 years old now. I started doing real estate when I was 18, believe it or not. I think I've been a born hustler, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, since I was a little kid. I remember my parents were trying to send me to therapy when I was in elementary school because all I wanted to do was make money. And, I got caught up in the TV and the commercial, part of life that, you're seeing on TV, you watch the commercials and you want new shoes and new clothes and all these different new toys. I got caught up in that because, I'm 7 years older than my sister and 14 years older than my brother. So, obviously I was born and raised in D.C. My parents came from the Middle East 40 years ago, and just kind of got caught up in that. And I don't know, obviously you don't know how you're going to be born and how your makeup is going to be, but I just got intrigued with money and I got intrigued with the hustle of business and doing deals. And, I remember playing cards in middle school. And I remember one time I won a gold necklace in middle school playing blackjack. And I had a knock on the door of my parents' house, and it was the mom of the kid that I won the chain from. And I was like, Mom, I won that chain fair and square. But anyways, it's not real gold. You can have it back. So, I just had that mentality. I always remember trading magic cards and getting into basketball cards. And I remember the day when I was 13 years old, I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I want a new pair of Nikes. I didn't even know it was called Nike. And, we used to shop at Payless all the time. And, again, money ain't everything, but I just remember those stories. And I was like, Mom, you have all these shoes and all these different things. I want one. I need a new pair every year, new overalls, new Oshkosh Bagosh, And she's like, well, I have a job. And she's like, well, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get a job too. So I went out, got a job at a pizzeria. I was underage. That place is no longer. But I got a job, and I'm making minimum wage at 13 years old, making pizzas. And the other thing, too, was I'm big into Michael Jordan collecting of shoes. And, we didn't have cable at the time. And so they had the Chicago networks. I got to watch all Michael Jordan's games and go to work. So I think I grew up pretty quickly, doing that. I know I'm obviously dealing with a lot of adults and money. And as time got on, 16 years old, got a job at Applebee's as a cook. Negotiated my way there 2 years before I was 18. I remember, paying for trips and stuff to go to, for like Cancun and things in high school. And then, 18 came around. My parents moved to the Middle East. My dad was like, you should get your license. He never really forced me. I was a stubborn kid. I'm stubborn to this day. But I was able to get my license. They moved back. I basically ran a mortgage company and a real estate company at age 18. And I was still in college at Towson University in Baltimore. Then I graduated from Maryland. But I got in really early. And I love the hustle and bustle. I love, the art of the deal. I just love the people. I mean, I can tell you today where I stand today is like, look, real estate is not the most intelligent business that I've seen. It's not much of a challenge per se for me, but it is a door opener for other things. If it wasn't for me being a leader and a teacher and finding inspiration, and seeing my agents grow and being able to give back and push forward, I don't know if this would be for me. And nothing against anyone, but it's sometimes you get to a point where you got to be challenged more and you have to have more creativity. And that's why I'm enjoying the technology. I'm enjoying 2015. I'm able to look back at age 34 and say half my life I've been in real estate, and I'm blessed to be where I'm at, and I'm humbled, and I've lost a lot of money, made a lot of money, but I've gained a lot of wealth right here.
Yep. No, I love it, man. So your dad kind of planted that seed. Was your dad in the real estate business, or did he just think that would be an industry you do well in?
Well, he started the company in 1989.
Okay.
He's about 26 years old now. But my dad was so busy working, and my mom was working for us and taking care of us that, we really didn't connect as much when I was younger because, I was a little kid. I wanted to go play basketball. I wanted to go hang out with friends. I wanted to go do stuff. I never sat down and understood what anyone was doing for us besides having a roof over our head and having food. So he did push me into that. But it was on my own, really, to say, you know what, I'll take it. I failed my exam 4 times. I just wanted to go party and be a college kid. What did I know? But I remember when I was waiting tables, I was at that Samer Italian restaurant. I was sitting in the back throwing the trash out, and I was with one of the waiters, and he was like, I want to buy a foreclosure. And I was thinking to myself, like, what the hell is a foreclosure? So I figured that out the next day, and then I figured out that HUD has a website you can buy foreclosures, bank-owned properties. So I remember I put a bid in for him. I made $5,000, and I was like, bye, see you later. I won't wait another table again. So that's how I got into the business, and I never looked back. And, from there, we kept on going. But my dad, we're totally different people, but I know I still have a lot of attributes from him. But he definitely planted a seed, and, I'm very appreciative for him bringing me to this country and bringing life to, having breath here today.
Yep. Love it, man. So you're 18 years old. You jump into the business. We're in an industry where you have 90% of realtors that fail in the first 3 years. It's like an 80% turnover year over year. What did you do, especially at 18 years old? Because there's a lot of challenges. Like, people are looking at you, probably could barely shave at that time. And, so I'm sure there was a lot of other challenges that came with jumping in so early. What did you do to go out there and create that success?
Well, I think it comes to personality. I think in life in general, it doesn't matter what business you're in. I think having a good personality, being able to listen, have energy, have passion for life, and really just be open-minded. I think at 18 years old, obviously, I was really, really excited. I get really caught up in a lot of things, that people talk to me about and whatnot. But I think it started with that one client, that waiter that I had with me. He's still my friend to this day, and I sold him 13 houses over time and changed his life. Now he's a developer because he bought so many properties. So by networking through that, I turned him into a loan officer, and then he would feed me deals. And back in the day, we didn't have Zillow and Trulia and all this stuff. We had the Yellow Pages. We had carbon paper. We didn't have virtual tours. We had old MLS systems. We had ADC maps. We didn't have navigation, believe it or not. So it was very hard, but, going to the clubs, going to restaurants, word of mouth. I mean, just hitting the phones, hitting the streets. Everyone you come in contact with is a potential client. You ever sit in traffic before and just look around and just say, you know what, every single one of these guys is my potential client. Yeah. So it's just how you think of it. I think I've been more of a free spirit and open mind all my life. And so I've never read a book, for example, in my life. And I've just kind of been a sponge. I've kind of lived on my own because, like I said, I got my first house at 19. I went to college at 18. I ran a company at 18. I started working early, so I kind of grew up really quickly. And a lot of people didn't believe what I was saying, because it's hard even to this day if I sat with someone and tell them all the experiences I've had, because it's very hard to meet someone that you can, let's say on your level, like intelligent wise, but just maybe experience, and to have that conversation without them being like, this guy's full of it, you know? So I always had a gap between my age group. And so a lot of my friends to this day are 40 plus years old, lawyers, doctors, engineers, where we can have a respectful conversation. So I felt that gap. And that's why I kept to myself all my life and kind of just pushed hard and really went out there and networked as much as I could to solidify foundational things, which is obviously turning and burning these deals. And then later it becomes a pyramid.
So you go to college, you jump into this career, you're having success, but then you choose to also go to college. You know, were you going to college? Were you thinking at that time that real estate was just going to be a stepping stone, and you're going to go to college to do something else, or was that just to develop more skills to help you in your real estate?
To be honest with you, man, it was a waste of time.
Yep.
I hate to say that to anyone listening to this. Obviously, you go to college, do whatever's best for you. My life was a little bit different. It was not for me. I went there honestly for, maybe you can call it for your parents. It's the proper thing to do, which is like the status quo. You finish high school, you go to college. But I was making money. I was making more money than my teachers. I was, making phone calls between classes. If I had my notebook to this day here, all I would write down were notes of how much money I was making from closings every single day, or what my to-do list was. And to this day, I still do to-do lists after 16 plus years. My assistant hates it. I just had a different mentality. I remember buying my first house, and I rented it out to to an electrician, a general contractor, and a political science major. And the way my mind was thinking, I was like, okay, well, this guy could help me with my homework. So I had, a little bit of help here and there, and I'd give these guys bonuses on utilities, or give them Wizards tickets, or, whatever. But I always found a way to get ahead. It just wasn't my priority. I did criminal justice in school. I could have been maybe a business major, but it was never for me. I was never engaged into it. I graduated and I got maybe a 2.0. They probably said, you know what, give this guy whatever GPA, get him in the hell out of here, But, of course I want that for other people, but it just didn't happen for me. I wasn't challenged. I wasn't pushed. I graduated with honors from high school, did really well. But, it's until recently in my life, I haven't been like pushed, because I'm always the one pushing. No one's bringing it to me. Until recently I got married, I feel like I'm being pushed. You know what I mean? I finally met the woman who's going to go to war with me. It's life is funny how things work, but it's an inspiration. It's fun and enjoyable. And as long as you can smile and laugh and have a good time and not take everything so seriously, I think you can be very successful in what you do.
Yeah. No, look, man, so you get done with college, you jump back, and now you're 100% full-time in real estate. Let's kind of talk about your career, man. I mean, how has it evolved? Did you start off an individual agent, and at some point did you start your own team? And then now I know you're operating this massive brokerage. But how did that evolution roll out?
So, we started at 18 years old. I was working just as an independent contractor in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. My dad had a couple of different agents working at the time under our brokerage. And I did my deals, sold incredibly well my first couple of years of real estate, as I started. Then I got into purchasing properties as well. So I started learning the investor game, the rental properties, how to flip homes, understand, the finances of it, how to build corporations or companies, LLCs, how to understand the tax, benefits and the capital gain. So I started getting heavy into the understanding, the foundational work of how everything flows. So yes, I was buying and selling. That was easy. Doing rentals, great. Doing property management, awesome. As time went on, I ended up amassing like 9 houses for myself, one that I lived in, rented out the other portfolio, slowly hired an assistant, hired some more agents, got into the loan business. My dad also had a mortgage company because he felt like, why not have both? You get somebody pre-approved, and then you can show them a property. So ultimately, I got a chance to learn also the mortgage banking side of things. To be the best, general manager of a restaurant, it's good to be a busboy, a bartender, a waiter. It gives you more clout, more respect from your peers, and also, a better knowledge gauge of being able to run something. So I was able to kind of soak up knowledge from every facet. As I got into my middle 20s, I had my own office. I branched out and opened an office myself, and then built another, like I said, branch of a mortgage company in real estate, a call center, started getting into leads in India by having a call center there to call on leads. and having this like cool ringer that between 5 and 7 p.m. was live transfers coming in. Then the market kind of crashed a little bit, and I had to unload all my properties. So, I mean, going through short sales and foreclosures, I'm not ashamed of any of that. So I think it's one of the best things I've ever gone through. Got hit in the face, kicked, pushed, pissed on, and still came out of it. I'm still been doing the same thing I've been doing since day one. But like I said, tell anyone, it's all about what you gain here and what you can do with it. So through this collapse that happened, money never leaves the planet, right? It just transfers. So it's not a matter of the market is bad or good. Market's always good. It's just a matter of where you stand in it. And, for me, I got into doing short sale work. I started negotiating debt and obligation release for clients. I started beating up big banks, like Chase Manhattan, BOA, whatever, and saving people's lives and getting them out of this disaster. So that saved me during the time, the market was going down. And then obviously even short selling my own homes. So I was a consumer of the product. So through that, then 2012 came around. Okay, in 2012, I got a phone call from Zillow, and they've been hunting me down for like 2 weeks. Zillow obviously is the largest public real estate site, if not the world, definitely the country. The guy was trying to sell me a zip code. He was trying to sell me real estate on the internet, which is visibility. And I was like, you know what? I just didn't trust the guy. I was like, I didn't want it. I was just kind of like, you know what? I can't stand leads. I can't do this anymore. I'm just tired of it. I'm trying to figure out where I was going to go. I was kind of stuck in a place where, am I going to continue moving forward this way or not? I ended up saying, you know what? It's $105. Maybe I won't go out to dinner one day a week. And I bought it. I bought something outside of my area per se, and it worked. I got a lead out of it, and I said, okay, great. So I started buying more leads. More zip codes. So I ended up in 2012 selling $49 million in sales. And I had a couple of agents at that time, just a couple. I had one assistant and like 2 or 3 agents working with me. And I would get the leads and I would distribute them out because I couldn't handle as many. The main thing in any customer service of any business is being able to give somebody your all. And if you can't, you can't do it. So I started getting scared. That's why I started ramping up with the leads and then ramping up with the agents to be able to solidify a good customer experience. Then in 2013, I increased my spend. I mean, I remember by the end of 2012, I think I was spending around $30,000 a month on leads. And then the following year, because Zillow, you can't just call them and buy something. You were on a wait list, and you had to have priority in certain things. And 2013, I sold $101 million in sales. So I doubled up in production, and I had about 23 or 25 agents at the time. 2014, I did $143 million. Okay. And which put us number 1 in the area in transactions, which is pretty good. I mean, set number 2 was 2.5 times less transactions than us. Again, money and numbers are not a measure of success, but it is good for, it is legit, it's public record, and it's good for the customer base. But, as long as you have your ethics and respect, everything's going to be money. 2015 comes around, I'm already at 10 million more than last year, and we still have about a couple weeks to go. And we did it in less transactions. And today I have 46 agents. I have a COO and general counsel that runs my company. We have 2 admins in the office. I just opened up recently in Miami. I also opened up in Los Angeles, and I have 134 zip codes. I'm building a concierge call center at the moment. I've hired some of the best agents in the area. And the way our model is an exclusive boutique firm, and we are the only company that I'm aware of, at least, that is vetting the agents, meaning that we're hiring people first. We're not hiring agents. I don't care what your resume is. I don't care how much you sold. If you're not an add value to our company and our movement and our lifestyle, it's not a good fit, and that's the key. We want our customers to know and our clients that we really care about your experience and what you're going to do moving forward, and that you have the best of the best, and they're multidimensional, that they're people, that they have good personality, that they'll listen. And I think that's really important to change the game. The game that we are in, the real estate game, is a dinosaur game. The average agent's 57 years old. Maybe they sell $1 million a year in volume, but it's not what it's about. It's about being personable. It's about being the top 1%. It's about using technology to be faster and cutting edge and give people the resources and the tools to succeed. And anyone can come and sell your house and do an open house and a broker open and a virtual tour and a marketing flyer. I mean, that's pretty standardized. But you're really not selling yourself, but you're looking for a partner with that client, right? You're a team. And if you listen to each other and your goals, your short-term and long-term, and what they're looking for, you're going to get somewhere. So all I've been doing is really, I mean, I'm also selling property on a daily basis. I'm running a company and I'm training. Yesterday, for example, I got a 20-person Hummer, and I took them to like 4 condo projects that we're developing, like 20 condo conversions. We take row homes and turn them into condos. And I took them in a Hummer limo and taught them how to do construction, how to do development, what general contractors do, how does the associations work, how's pre-marketing work, things that these guys have never experienced. That because a lot of people come from brokerages, they don't even talk to the broker. Like, everyone should be on an even level playing field. Everyone should be able to talk to someone and not shun them just because they're just this lower agent. No, everyone is equal. Teach them. If you want to get something out of them, you teach them. And that's why I come back to the point where if it wasn't for these agents and the people that I work with, I wouldn't do what I do. I don't need it all. I don't need all the overhead and the headache and the liability. But I'm a true passionate person of what I do, and I believe in building our brand and where we're going to go. And, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I just know this is a stepping stone to something else. And as I tell my agents every day, I was like, you hold your career in your hand, not me. I'll always guarantee you my work ethic. I can't guarantee you anything else.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I couldn't agree more. Greatness can never be achieved alone. So, you guys are out there on track to do 150 plus million this year. And with that amount of agents, how is your time allocated? Because, you're out there still producing, but then you're training, then you have the company growth, and you're having to work on all the systems. And, what's a typical day look like for you, man?
Like, for example, every day I wake up and I have a to-do list. My list is pretty much 80% the same. It's more for me. I'm pretty OCD and control freak, but I have to be because, I want to take responsibility for anything that ever happens, and I want to be the one that does it. For me, I've learned how to let go of control. That's why I have a COO. I have a director of business development that I've hired through. He was one of my Zillow clients, believe it or not. And I was like, you know what? My gut is a really good assessor of people. And I hired him. He sold $30 million for me in 2 years, and I was working part-time. So I hired him to distribute my leads, to do audits on what the cost per lead is, what the agents are doing, to work on technology for us. My COO and counsel, she does all the reviewing of contracts, the management of the office, sales meetings. And then myself, on a daily basis, I'm out there. Like I said, I have listings to deal with, to follow up on that I'm selling. I got buyers I'm showing properties to. I got vendors to follow up with. I got agents that call me all day long asking me questions or ideas of how to save deals or what do I think about this. I have customers calling me off of signage. I got leads coming in to take on. I mean, every day is a nonstop Wall Street craziness. And I'm a developer too. So I have projects that I'm working on. I'm also helping the agents in Los Angeles. I'm helping them in Miami. I'm constantly either on the phone, on the email. But the one thing about me is that I'm very reachable, and I don't like to have anything, kind of build up. So if I'm not available, I'll answer the phone and say I'll call you back. Or it's always about acknowledging people. So every day is so unique, but predominantly it's always pushing the monster forward. It's like imagine having like 10 balls like this, and one of them is like 1 inch closer, 10 inches, 12, and then you're always trying to push them closer to the finish line. Some of them end up going backwards, but that's kind of how you look at it if you can see a picture.
Yeah, no, I dig it, man. So when it comes to Zillow, you're having massive success on online leads. I heard a stat the other day from Zillow that your average agent follows up within 40 minutes and only follows up twice. Your success, the fortune's in the follow-up, right? So you guys must be hitting these quickly and then hitting them very, very frequently. Give us an idea of what that looks like to create that success in those high conversions like you do.
So in essence, I get an average between 800 and 1,200 leads a month, and just call it 1,000. That's including email inquiries, which is predominantly like 80% of that, and phone call inquiries from various sites, but predominantly Zillow. And the lead comes in. We have a platform that sucks in the data, and then our platform is able to group the agents. So if you were one of my realtors and you were licensed in all 3 states, we would put you in the DC bucket, Virginia bucket, Maryland bucket. So we put all the agents in these groupings, and then there's individual groupings. So if we don't know who's available, the lead comes in. Obviously, my director of business development reads it, or myself, if I'm available, and then we press the button. We press the button, and it broadcasts to all the agents that are in that appropriate state if they're licensed there. And then they have the opportunity to claim it. They can't see the entire lead because we don't want them to cherry pick. But we tell our agents that only claim the leads if you're available. This is not a contest. It's about taking care of the client. So within seconds, the lead has already been emailed by us saying, myself or one of my team members will be in contact with you shortly. Thank you for reaching out to us, et cetera, et cetera. Then within seconds, we expect them to pick up the phone and call immediately. Hi, how are you? My name is Hovik with AK Real Estate. We just received your Zillow inquiry. The property's available. It's not available. Here are some other ones that are. You're working with an agent. So we would engage right away. If we can't get a hold of them on the phone, we are sending an email, and then they're CCing me on it. We try to leave you a message, please give me a shout. When's a good time? Then they continue to follow. 40 minutes is outrageous, okay? You might as well throw your money and burn it. It's really got to be within a couple minutes at the max, because you always have to assume that they're going to contact more than, the 4 agents that are on the screen. So when you go to Zillow or Trulia, there's a checkbox system. And typically you're paying for the visibility, rotation, and a percentage. So if I own 66% of a zip code, that means I show up 2/3 of the time. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to choose me, but the client has the opportunity to check all the agents off. So you have to assume that 4 agents are getting contacted on that same lead. It's better than assuming you're the only one. You have to have a sense of urgency. And so it's really critical. I'm paying the money and I'm distributing the leads, and people are getting an added value, which is not really out there in this market. So it's all about speed, but it's also not just about speed. It's about speed and knowledge. And us being able to, like today, we're teaching them, I have a technology class. We're teaching them about how to make sure your MLS is on your phone. What tools you need to look up things quickly. It's all about efficiency and acknowledgement of the client, but not in 40 minutes. That is outrageous.
Yep. So what kind of systems, especially now you're up to 40 plus agents, you got to be able to inspect what you expect. What kind of systems do you have? Like, let's say, for example, they claim the lead, but they don't follow up properly. What do you guys do in there to make sure that keeping them accountable?
Sure. So as we said, when the lead gets claimed by the agent, we all know who claims the lead, and then they have a system called Follow Up Boss. It's a CRM that we give them, and we can go in there. We have certain high level access, and we can see how fast they called, what their email chains are looking like. So it gives us all the stats. So that's how we hold them accountable. Literally, they claim it, it drops in for them into their CRM. I'm obviously seeing them email me or CC me on their first contact so that I'm there. And I like to do that because I like to give them feedback on what they're saying sometimes. A lot of them know what they're doing, but it's just good in general to kind of keep an eye on. It's not about micromanaging. It's about putting them in the right place. And then we see that they take notes, they label the lead. And by looking at their system, we really can tell what's been going on, how they're engaging, what their times are, and anything good is coming out of it. And also, we are a tight-knit group. So my director of business development is always reaching out. People are always talking to him. So we are in constant contact with each other.
Yep. Digging in. So, you've had a lot of success, right? But I know not all of it's been easy. Sometimes outsiders looking in, it's like, holy crap, man, this guy's just always been on fire. But we all experience failures, right? And I hate the word failures because they really become our best learning experiences. Like you alluded to earlier, hey, losing those properties, going through that experience has now been a massive asset to me and the entrepreneur that I am today. What are some of the biggest challenges or maybe best learning experiences that you've had throughout this journey?
Well, I think obviously it's the market. Now that I'm a little older and I've been through a couple of different markets, I'm able to kind of see some of the telltales of what potentially is going to happen. Like every market goes up and every market goes down at some point. And there's variables. Like now I'm a lot better at watching the interest rates, networking with different economists, networking with different bankers, finding, that's what I didn't have before. I didn't really have my support system. My network, besides network of clients, yes, I had a couple, vendors here and there, but now, like today, I have like a boardroom, a virtual boardroom in essence, where I can make phone calls to the attorney side, to the state side, to, different other brokers nationally, locally. I think that's something that I was missing a long time ago was, my stubbornness to think I knew everything. And I think, accepting that I don't know everything was really important. And to be humble and have humility. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm still learning. That's why I tell you the only thing I can really guarantee anyone is that I'll be myself and I can guarantee you my work ethic. I think that was it. I think also growing too fast in the market that was. I think, again, stubbornness came in, ego came into play. And, I would do it all again if I can still be where I'm at today, meaning the experience that I had. it was tough. It was tough being in debt to my landlord. It was tough not paying the vendors until later. It's hard to take on those phone calls and feel like you failed. But the part that I did that made me successful, I think, in that was I always answered my phone. And I'm sorry, we don't have any money at this moment, but we're going to take care of it. And I was able to do that. Instead of them always reaching out to me, I called them, and I was proactive in getting myself out of the hole. And while there's days I wanted to close the door and just shut down, I couldn't. As long as I'm breathing, I was pushing. And, I got married in June. I was kind of just always on my own, but I knew that I was working for something bigger than myself. Somebody one day that I'll have some kids, I'll have a wife, I'll build something that is tangible, not just something that comes in and out like real estate, because there's no salary, there's no hourly wage. So I think just, me calming down, finding a better balance, thinking before I shoot, being able to ask for advice, ask for help, really are important things that I've learned over time, and not to just jump into anything and get excited. And the one thing I did learn that's very valuable, I think, and it comes to real estate as well, is that not every deal is a deal. You can't put a circle through a square, and you can't get excited and jump, and you can't count the money that you're supposedly going to get already. And a lot of people fail to do that. And that's why I think the agents are lucky to be a part of what we have, because I didn't have me when I was younger. Okay. I didn't. They do. And that's why I'm hard on them, because I think if you really want something in life, you have to love yourself, know what you want to do, have a plan. And it's okay that we may not have the same goals, but it's important to have something to push forward for. And being around positive people, positive thinkers, people that have a passion for life. I mean, at the end of the day, we live in America, so we're stuck on this 9 to 5. I owe this person money. Oh my God, But there's other pieces of the puzzle that can be fun and enjoyable. And sometimes I think we lose track of that. And I think I did, because I was running so fast as a young kid that I didn't even know. I mean, I'm 34 now, and I feel like I'm an old man. And I feel like I've accomplished pretty much everything I wanted to. Will I ever be satisfied? What else is there to do? And that's why I keep coming back to, thank God there's me being able to teach and cut 15 years or 16 years of time to help these other people. And I like that, because we all choose to make decisions. We choose to make choices, and if we want to give or not. And I think another big thing that I've been running a company for a long time is I always thought that people were going to be like me. And that was hard for me to accept that it wasn't that way. And I had to appreciate what was good about them. And that took me a long time, outside of just, me giving and not receiving. And I told myself, like, look, you give the choice to give, and you can't expect somebody to give back. So those are things that I've learned, through time. A lot of it's psychology, to be honest with you.
Now, dig it, man. So good becomes the worst enemy to greatness, right? It's so easy to get in this, it's good enough. Hey, I'm having enough success. And then we kind of sometimes can lose that drive to go out there and achieve greatness. What keeps you pushing, man? Because you're at a point right now where, like, you probably could just pull off the reins, kind of chill, go out there, enjoy a lot more time with your wife. What keeps you driving?
Man, like, I have this passion, this fire, bro. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I just want the world, man. I want to leave a legacy. I want to show people that, a Palestinian man, a Muslim man, even though I'm not that religious, there are people out there that can break these stereotypes and that can give back to the world. I really believe that I can, give people hope. You may not be able to change their lives in a lot of ways, but if you give people hope, you can give them a chance to love and to cry and to be happy. And I think that, I love the pressure of all these families that I feed, and that my decisions can make or break. I mean, it's also very dangerous too, because when you have an extreme mind like I do and very impulsive, it can be a dangerous thing. But that's what's enjoyable about life, right? You don't know what's going to happen. I have a brother, I have a sister, I have my parents. I believe that, I'm their parent in some capacity. I want to be that leader emotionally, in every way, whether it's financially, emotionally, and everything. But I also have goals in front of me. I want to own a sports team. I want to, have a movie. I want to write a book. I want to go around the world and teach confidence, that there's no ceiling to life. I want to open a charity. Like tomorrow, we're going to go to the food bank for our second time in 2 months. We're going to go to the Ronald McDonald House hopefully next month and do some work. Like, I really enjoy that. I like to talk to kids. I like to just give back. I like I mean, honestly, man, real estate, like I told you, it's really easy for me. It's not that, hard, but there's more that I'm very happy to be at a point where I can see other things than just the rat race, and I don't see myself, pulling back. I see myself evolving into bigger things and figuring out how to build my company to one day go public, to build something special that people really want to be a part of. And as I tell you, this is not a business. It's a lifestyle and a movement. And whoever wants to rock and roll with us, let's bring it,
Yep. So a couple last questions for you. But before we jump into those, if somebody does want to join that movement, I mean, you're in DC, you're in Miami, you're in LA. If they want to reach out to you, if they want to learn more about maybe joining your team, or maybe just have some general questions for you, man. I mean, what's the best way for our listeners to learn more about you and get a hold of you?
Sure. My email is info, INFO, at A as in apple, hyphen, K as in kite, realestate.com. So it's info at A-K realestate.com. And here's my cell phone too, which people probably never give out. 301-385-0049. Call me anytime, text me, whatever it is. I'm an open book.
Yep, love it, dude. So, all right, let's say something happens, man, and another market crash, whatever it is, and you get totally financially wiped out. And your health's good, your wife's good, all the family's good, but financially you've got little to no money left. Let's say you got $500 left in your bank account, but you've retained all this knowledge, like this PhD of life and business from the years you've been in the business. What are the first few things you go out there and immediately do, knowing what you know now with those limited resources to recreate this empire that you've created?
Man, I toy with that idea a lot because I do a lot of consulting for hedge funds and things like that about social media and Zillow, etc. And a lot of times they pose the question like, what do you do if they drop, increase the prices or they're not around? That's tough. It's a really tough question. I think that I have my brain and I have me, and I've been the best investment since day one. I've never decreased in stock. I always increase in stock. So as long as I have myself, I think I have built enough valuable relationships out there that if I needed to hop on to a different company or get a full-time job somewhere, I think it would be easy to do. I don't know if it'd be hard for me to work for someone, but at the same time, I'd be a team player. I think that I could, go into, for example, I run my own real estate company. I could go work for any company I want when it comes to real estate and bring my team over and do whatever. So there's a lot of opportunity for me, but I could go back and maybe buy one zip code and work from home and just hang my license somewhere and start from the basics if I had to. But if I had $500, honestly, I'd go to Houston's and have dinner, and I'd go watch a movie and go to the arcade and just see what happens. I mean, sometimes you just gotta let go and see what comes to you. I always believe that there's always a story being written in your life, and as long as you have that good positive energy, your mind is very powerful, regardless of something that has to be material. And I just feel like we're all insulated if you're a good person and you got good ethics and you have good respect and you got that good vibe, that everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. So this podcast, I created this podcast. It's been about a year now, and the reason I created it was, I'm in the real estate game like you. I haven't been as long as you. I'm going on my 11th year. Got in at 23, but I'm 34 as well now. And what I realized through this industry is there's a lot of top trainers, a lot of coaches, but a lot of these people aren't doing it. Like they've never done it. They've never been a practitioner. There's a lot of information available in our industry, but with the least performing people of any other industry. So I wanted to go out there and study the doers. Right, so new agents coming on can listen from the doers like you. They're out there actually creating big, epic lives and careers and businesses. So with that being said, man, do you have any last words of maybe motivation, inspiration, or advice that you'd like to leave our listener base with, so then they can go out there and create this amazing, epic life like you've been able to create for yourself?
Yeah, I think that a good way to start is sometimes if you like to write stuff down, write down the stuff that you don't like about life or business or whatever. Write down some of the good stuff that you like. Just kind of have that there. I think that if you're going to get into real estate, for example, I think you really should find the people that are out there like myself or people in your market that you can team up with. I really believe in the future of teams. I'm on the advisory board of Zillow, and we're talking about the future of building teams. And I'm part of the 7 agents that are working on the training seminar. And I think you have to align yourself with the right people, the right mindsets. I think that, no one should just go work for someone just to work for someone. I think you got to find that equality, that passion, and not what are you going to do for me, but what can we do together attitude. I think that, again, people shouldn't rush into things. I think that, your name is everything. Your reputation is everything. And I think, really surround yourself with the best people that really care, and that have good ethics. It's not always about the money. I think that if you are good at what you do, you'll always make money. But if money is your driver, it's probably not the best business for you. We are in a very tough environment. I work my ass off to get here, and I'm still working. I've sacrificed everything in my life, from relationships to family to a lot of things, and a lot of heartache. And it's not easy. And anyone that just sees the exterior and sees what it is today, they have no idea. And so many people want to own the team and not try out for it. And that's a failure. So wake up, work hard, have passion for life, and really be open-minded and listen. And, and again, some of the most successful people in the world know how to say no. So, some words of wisdom. I mean, I'm sure there's a million other things that we can talk about, but just go at it, go get it. And rely on yourself, and don't think that everyone's going to do things for you.
Powerful words, man. So to our listener base, I know we end every podcast with this, but information without implementation is the start of delusion. Information is not power. It's taking that information, implementing, executing on it, that creates power in our world. So you guys just heard from one of the top guys, top real estate agents, top team leaders on the planet who delivered a lot of very powerful nuggets, gave a lot of great information. So make sure that you guys go out there and implement a few things that he talked about today in your business immediately, so you can go out there and create that epic life and epic business that you want and deserve. And Samer, man, this has been a massive honor. You're a passionate guy. You're a hustler, man. You're doing big things, and it's an absolute honor having you on the show, my friend.
I appreciate your time. I wish you the best. And if there's anything I can do as well in the future, please don't hesitate.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.